Okay. Y'all caught me dancing. Welcome, 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 y'all. I always mess up and have my microphone on mute, but y'all know that about me because y'all here with me every week. So welcome to another episode of Call Me CEO, The Conversations, where we have honest conversations about the inner work behind powerful leadership, powerful women in leadership, right? This episode today is really these last couple of weeks have been in honor of February, in honor of Love Month and leadership and women in leadership. So today we're going to be talking about healing your relationship patterns and how love affects the way you lead. So I want you to pull up a seat, share this broadcast out, tag a sister or two, tell her to join you, share, share, share. So what I am doing is I'm about to share to a couple of groups here real quick. So I forgot to say who I am. I tend to do that as well. I am Angela Dee, and I am your host. Of course, I'm the founder and CEO of Back to Her and the Call Me CEO movement. So hold on, y'all. Let me go ahead and share this good old broadcast to the group that I wanted to go to because we want as many folks as possible to tune into this conversation. I think it's extremely important in as women leaders and in leadership to have the conversations a lot of times that we don't have. We don't talk about how love, our love and our communication style sometimes affects our leadership patterns. So before I get into all of that, I do have a special guest tonight. She is none other than the Tech Evangelist, Miss Sabrina Lowery. Sabrina Lowery. She is an entrepreneur, author, and technology leader who has been building businesses since 2002. She is the founder of Legacy Realty and Management LLC and Sabrina Lowery Enterprises LLC and the author of 5 best-selling books. Sabrina blends real estate expertise with cutting edge technology and has helped thousands of entrepreneurs globally launch and scale successful ventures. She is a wife, mom of 3 sons, and grandmother who is committed to building and inspiring others to build lasting legacy. So I'm gonna go ahead one of these days. I'm gonna get this drum roll together, but we're gonna do our own drum roll. So we're gonna go ahead and bring her to the stage. Welcome, sister. Welcome, welcome. How are you?
Good evening, Angela D. Thank you so much for having me here. I am so blessed and favored to be on your platform. I am so inspired by you and your leadership and all that you are doing for your community. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for that. And thank you. And I have to say that you are an inspiration as well. All the women that I bring on this show inspire me. It's so inspiring to be able to watch other sisters out here doing their thing and to be able to share that with the masses. So that's what I'm here to do. And I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited for the connection. I'm excited about the topic, right? Because you yourself have been in leadership for quite some time, right? Over, I know it's been many, many years and you've been doing this for a long time. 2002 is a long time, and I'm quite sure you've been doing your thing for longer than that. We are CEOs in our own right, and we do that for much longer than we get paid to do it, right? So we're running businesses, we're running our lives, we're running families, and all of the things that come with that. And so tonight, again, we're talking about healing relationship patterns and how love affects the way you lead. I think it is a transformational topic. I think it's a personal topic. And I think it's the topic that we don't talk a lot about. We talk about a lot of things when we talk about business, when we talking about being CEOs and running businesses and stuff, but we don't talk about the way we love and that it really affects the way we lead. So our communication style, whether or not we have boundaries, our reactions, our confidence, I think so much of it is shaped by our relationship experiences. So I just want to talk a little bit about patterns, right? Patterns in relationships. Many women tend to, I think, repeat relationship patterns and they bring those things into their business. Emotional patterns in their business that kind of mirror romantic or family relationships. We tend to avoid conflict. We over explain things a lot. We overgive. fear of rejection, all of those things. So, what do you think are some common relationship patterns that, in your experience, you've seen directly affect how we as women lead, or have even affected how you lead as a woman in leadership?
Well, thank you so much for this hot topic. And it absolutely is timely. And this being the month of love, February, I want to just give everyone a little bit of backstory that are new to me on your platform. I am Sabrina Lowery, and I am affectionately known as the Tech Evangelist, which means that my superpower is technology and communication. And I use digital tools in order to not just leverage my skills, but also amplify my voice when
Mhm.
I otherwise cannot be there. So I'll tell you, back in the day, I'm a 70s baby from Jersey. And so I used to watch the cartoon The Jetsons. Y'all remember the
Mhm.
Saturday
I
cartoons?
remember the Jetsons.
And so my favorite character was the robot Rosie. Do you remember Rosie?
Of course.
Rosie was the bomb.com to me. I always thought, you know what? If I could code a robot and be in robotics, I could possibly be one of those hidden figures that launched one of the shuttles at NASA in Florida. So I went to the University of Florida in engineering, transitioned out of engineering because I became a mom. And so when I became a mom of my first son, I left the engineering side of things, but I never left technology. So
Mhm.
when I started in my, I would say my future self, right? I'm a mom. Now I've got two babies and my degree on the way. Where am I going to land that's going to acknowledge my superpower and my value? Because I'm just a petite, young, articulate, well spoken minority Black woman in the South. So
Mhm.
it was a problem for me being in Florida because in Miami, they want to give value to those that are multilingual.
Mm.
Forget that you've got all the accolades and the credentials because I had all of those boxes checked.
Right,
But
right.
here's what I will share. In that time, love didn't look good for me personally because I was in a transition from my relationship to come to a state that I had never lived in. Transition number two. I
Yeah.
may or may not like or love my new job. Transition the next one. And
Mhm.
then I've got to find a new church home and church family. Transition again. And so, where's the love in all of these transitions?
That's
Where?
it.
You start
That's
trying
it.
to adopt family members, Angela. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those
Yeah.
people that become your family that are
Oh,
not
yeah.
your blood.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, and there's so many of them, right? We get them and we have them. Sometimes even I'm not gonna say in place of, but a lot of times, sometimes we don't have that support. So
That's
I think those connections are important because a lot of, like you said, you were somewhere else,
that's
somewhere new. You a new mom, new experiences, new transitions, new all of that. So you right, where was the love?
that's right.
At least in that. But it's not always about the romantic side of it, though, right? It's
That's
not
correct.
necessarily. I'm talking relationships in general. How
That's
you
right.
communicate, how you set boundaries. You know what I'm saying? All of those things are part of the. It's all a part of the love and all a part of getting attached. I think it's attachment styles. I say because you don't clock in and out when you step into leadership. There's no clocking in and out, of that. If you're anxious in love, right, or the lack thereof, you may overwork sometimes to prove your value. And
Yeah.
I know that I have done that many, many times myself. Taking,
Yeah.
sometimes we'll take on things that we know we shouldn't take on projects, take on clients, just because you're trying to prove, especially when you just stepping into this entrepreneurial space, especially stepping into the online and the digital and all of that. And so sometimes we take on a lot more, right? Because we're trying to prove that we're the person for you. This is my expertise. This is what I'm doing, and we're trying to prove that. So I think that sometimes those patterns, like I said, it shows up. So just to kind of make it practical, what do you like? How can women recognize when those patterns show up in their business decisions? How did you recognize when
Oh, I
those
love
patterns
this.
would show up in
This
those
is
decisions?
one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Okay, so we're about to drop the gems, right? Let me get
Come on and drop them. Drop them on
my
down.
B-roll back here. Okay, tuned in. Okay, so here's what I would like to drop for the people this evening when it comes to the love, the boundaries, and building your own business. That
Mhm.
means showing your value and not letting someone determine your value for you.
That's
So
right.
when it starts to look and feel more than love and more like creepy, then recognize that that's what that is.
Yeah.
When you get into an interview space and you start to recognize that this person is not really in it for the mutual reciprocity of what it is to be an employer or employee or
Hmm.
independent contractor and said leader of the team, right?
Right.
There is a separation of church and state, and therefore don't come hugging me in the boardroom when I'm the only skirt in the boardroom. You're
Come on
not
now.
hugging up on the bros at the table. So
Come
that
on
was a
now.
boundary I needed to establish. So here's the second one. It's all in the conversation, and I'm a Jersey girl that came to the South. And so one day outside of the boardroom, someone called me a bulldog in a skirt. I said, what the heck? Who the what? And where they talk like that at? And I believe I was in a dress that day.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, the gentleman and his wife, who otherwise did not look like me,
Of
fair
course.
like me, and
Of
had
course.
their little bulldog that they were walking on a leash in a damn skirt. Excuse
Mm.
my language. But
No,
how
no excuse
dare
it.
you?
Yeah. Yeah.
How dare you, sir and ma'am? I don't know you from Adam. And I
Hmm.
don't find that to be complimentary, all while his wife clutches her pearls because the eyebrows in the petite, smart, articulate, charming Black woman showed up and
Mm.
checked her man.
Hmm.
Excuse me, sir. I am no one's bulldog in a skirt. And she
Hmm.
just chuckled like a Southern belle would. But you know, normally they stay in their lane, but she
Yeah.
felt the need to speak up to me and let me know, oh, you may not be from around here, but in this area, a bulldog in a skirt is a compliment. Do you know anything about the University of Georgia? No, ma'am, I don't. And so if I don't, I refuse to be called a doggone bulldog in a skirt.
Right.
I am a proud graduate of the University of Florida's. So go Gators. Count
Baby,
on that.
you better go. Hey, Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones said, hey, you better go. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So count
And
on that,
that's,
right? So is that
yeah,
really love? Is that really love? There are they paying me a compliment? I think
right.
not. And then
Right.
another example of that would be when you show up again as a only female in a normally male dominated industry and
Hmm.
you actually can't speak up in the room. So there's no boundaries at this point. They're
Yeah,
setting boundaries for you.
that's
So
right.
my gem is to always speak up, advocate for yourself, and
Mhm.
then use those men that are your friends as allies. And if
That's
you
it.
don't know about what it is to befriend a man as an ally, rather than worrying about, do I need to sleep with him to befriend him, which is not love or lust, that's to gain something. Okay,
Mhm.
that's a different kind of a relationship. And I've never done that. And women that got ahead of me because they did that and chased money that way, God bless them. Because I guess right now, today, they're not still with that man, where I am still 23 years with my husband who chose me.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you have to have people that choose you. That
Absolutely.
brings loyalty. Not only
Absolutely.
does that bring loyalty, that brings peace and joy to the household, which then it just matriculates into the business
Mhm.
relationships and how you
Absolutely.
manage the people around you. Because I tend to be one of those leaders that leads by example. So if
Right.
I show up in love and I'm bringing love to the boardroom, how dare you come in the boardroom snapping and neck popping and cursing and carrying on? That's not right. You
Right.
establish the boundaries in your boardroom by setting the expectations in your business culture.
That's
And in
right.
that business culture, if you really want to get down and dirty with it, establish those core values and those standards and operations, procedures, and write those things down. What might those rules and regulations be so that if you need to put a termination in place, they know why and it's no surprise, there's no love lost.
And you got that right. And as you were, saying, especially in tech and when I'm in marketing for me, it is a male driven industry. It is a white male driven industry. There's a lot of bro marketing and hustle culture and just all of those things that are not really it's not really conducive for an environment for women in leadership. And that's why I know that we have to create our own spaces, right? We have to create our own boardrooms and our own values and our own spaces so that we are here and showing up the way we show up in love and in leadership because of the fact that so many of us, I have studied it, especially now in this digital age that we're living in, especially now with so many different things and platforms and software and AI and TI and everybody's eye popping up, and we are adjusting and adjusting our skill sets and things like that. And so the boardroom is starting to look a little bit different. It looks a lot different than it looked 20 years ago, right? So we've injected ourselves into those spaces, but we also, like you say, have to come in and lead with love and recognize when our relationship patterns show up in our business decisions, understanding that sometimes, we have to be vulnerable and not struggle with delegation or trust. Awareness, we have to be aware of who we are and what we're bringing to the table and our expectations and things like that, right? So it's about healing the woman. It's about being a healed woman and stepping out there, like you say, and showing up. And it's not necessarily about women and men and those type of relationships. Again, the love space is about how you deal with any relationship, whether it's your relationship with your family, your kids, your mom and them, whoever. Because as a leader, you have those relationships. Period. Right.
Yes.
When they and you have to heal all of it because we come with a lot of stuff a lot of times. A lot of times women will bring all of our stuff with us, but when we come from a place of healing, we stop leading from fear, right? We
Mhm.
stop overcompensating, stop shrinking, and we start leading from security instead of survival. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So I think it's all about building healthier connections and empowering each other to do so. But I also, before we get up out of here, want to say, I know you got some good stuff coming up. I know you got some good stuff coming up, and so I really would like to hear what you have. I believe you have a book happening right now, so I'd love to hear about that.
Absolutely. So thank you for asking about that. I was hoping you would. I am one of the visionary and legendary and now the forward author of one of the ladies in tech and friends. We are now on volume 4, guys. So
Okay,
ladies in tech and
love it.
friends, volumes 1 came out 3 years ago, volume 2, 2 years ago, volume 3 last year, and next month, volume 4. So I want you all to know that you can support the Ladies and Tech and Friends community. All 4 volumes. I've got the book bundle available at sabrinalowery.com right now. You can go on in and support us. But not only that, but on March 21st, 21st in Towson, Maryland. You can meet the authors of the newest volume of Ladies in Tech and Friends. And in this book, we are talking about building careers not meant for us. Again, being the only skirt in the boardroom, being one of the only. Why do we always have to be the first and the only? And so we talk
especially in 2026,
that part. Let's talk
Yeah.
about 6 years beyond COVID,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
when we talk about thought leaders, we talk about industries such as construction. We could even talk about real estate, which is my second career outside of technology, both being predominantly male dominated industries. But I refuse to let that ceiling stop me. And so I had to break through the glass ceiling. And so in volume 4, as the forward author, I am talking about how we break the glass ceiling when we are women who otherwise would be in careers and leaders of careers traditionally not meant for us. So y'all can learn more at sabrinalowery.com. Go to my shop. You can also follow me across all my socials and learn more. And I hope that you would support us by showing up in Towson, Maryland on March 21st and get these book bundles because we've got them for you. All right.
Absolutely. And the link, I'm about to put it in. Let me grab it over here. And I'm
Yes,
going to put this link in the
sabrinalowery.com.
comments so that you guys can reach out to her. If you want to get the book bundle, you want to support this amazing movement. I've been following this for the last couple of years as well. So I definitely know, about the Ladies in Tech. I've been seeing it. I actually all 4 volumes for the last few years because we are definitely in, the same circles. And so I think it's amazing. Like you said, building rooms that we were normally not in. I'm stepping into the real estate space myself and I see it. I understand it, and I'm actually just stepping into this outside of marketing and things like that. I'm a marketer and oh goodness, the marketing space. And I'm not, I'm a digital marketer and I'm a strategist with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the person that builds the strategies. I follow the trends, the KPIs, the analytics, all of those things. Right. And so that's male dominated. That's white male dominated, period. That's just, it is what it is. And so I think it's important to show that we are here. Right. We are here. We in marketing, we in tech, we everywhere. We in publishing. We are every single, every place. And if we ain't there, we coming.
Yeah.
If we ain't there, we come.
I'd like to go back to something important that you spoke of earlier, Angela, and you talked about boundaries, number one, and then you also talked about the relationship regardless of the gender. So I do want to talk about that scenario because let's talk about the gentleman who initially starts off as your ally because they see value in you and what you do and your skill set, right? And so now the opportunity is presented to you to show up. But here's when the pivot happens. Now there's some feelings involved. Now there's some competition. Now there's some fear. And now there's a lack of boundaries. So you know what that led to? A lack of trust. So when you're on a team where something like that happens as a woman, here's what I'd like to suggest. I'd like to suggest that you go to the other men that were your allies on that same team, or you get one of those female leaders that otherwise would not have been a part of that group or team meeting to just show up and audit the meeting. Audit the meeting means I'm just sitting here to observe. I am not here to vote, to speak, to do whatever's. Matter of fact, you don't see me. Okay. That kind of thing. And so that has to happen in order for change to come, because you
Absolutely.
were obviously brought onto the team and hired by the organization because they knew you, liked you, trusted you enough. But then here comes that one hater, that one competitor, that one person who lacks skills and confidence. Oh my God. And
Mhm.
they want to be you
Mhm.
in their other alter ego life. And so when you see that showing up and presenting them that self, that person is showing you who they really are. And in that moment, you have to set the boundary and
Yeah,
you have to release what you thought was a friendship or trust in that individual because you can no longer trust them.
that's right. That's right. Absolutely.
So I've
And
had that actually happen in my real life, and it was very unfortunate. And it becomes one of those, how the new kids, how do they say it these days? They get blocked. They are blocked. They're blocked. They're blocked. Okay.
yes, ma'am. Yes, indeed. Listen, this is what it is, and that's where that's where we at right now in
Yeah.
these spaces. That's where we're at. I really enjoyed this conversation with you. Again, I just want you to shout out one more time how they can follow you, how they can connect with you.
Absolutely. So, Angie, thank you so much for having me. It's been real because Black History Month is important to me. I want to thank my ancestors for blessing me with
Absolutely.
every opportunity that is attached to my name, and that I give him all the glory for just allowing me energy to be up this time of night in my age.
Girl,
So, I
listen,
want
yours and
everybody.
mine with you, honey.
So I would like everyone to connect with yours truly, Sabrina Lowery, the Tech Evangelist, at sabrinalowery.com. And on my site, you will find my shop where you can support my business. You can obtain my services, but more importantly, you can book that call, that one-on-one, that little bit of Zoom call or a little coffee chat, whatever it is you need. But here's what Angie asked me earlier. What do I have coming up? And I thought I put it in the comments over there in the private chat. So I'm just going to copy and paste this over into the live stream, y'all, because I want everybody to know that on Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, I host a digital masterclass series. And so
Mhm.
this builds your business like a boss. And BOSS is an acronym for business owners selling services. So those instructors, there's writers, there's speakers, there's entrepreneurs that do nothing but sell services. They have
Right.
no products. And so they also need a digital strategy and a blueprint. And so my first book is The Entrepreneur's Blueprint for Digital Dominance. That's my first bestseller. And
Mhm.
so in this book, I talk about getting your business on Google. That was masterclass number 1, the first Monday of February. Your social media strategy and what platforms do you need to be on, and how do you use AI to optimize that LinkedIn profile? That was masterclass 2. So this Monday, we worked on website audits and optimizing our SEO on our websites using AI. And so now next Monday is going to be that content creation, course creation, and creating community, because everybody don't want to be on Facebook groups. And so how do you take that offline? And I will teach you all of the tools that you need to be a boss.
All
And
right.
that is part of my masterclass series. So you can learn more at sabrinalowery.com.
Absolutely. And thank you again. And it's in the comments. Yes, it's in the comments. Make sure you click on the link, get in the class, and connect with the sister. Again, Sabrina, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I certainly appreciate you. And I'm gonna see you in these digital streets, honey. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
What an amazing and amazing and amazing woman. Again, I love to interview and highlight women that are out here killing it in their spaces, doing things that a lot of times they say we can't do, right? And again, this is the month of love. And so we talked a little bit about how women can intentionally choose healthier connections in love, in friendships, partnerships, and business, right? To every woman that's watching, every sister that's watching, if you've ever wondered why certain patterns, because a lot of times we got our patterns and we love to repeat the same stuff, whether it's with a man, a friend, whatever it is. If you've ever wondered why those patterns keep repeating themselves, or you felt triggered in your leadership, or ever struggled even with your boundaries or your trust, I promise you it's not a weakness. It is unhealed. It's an unhealed experience and it's begging for your attention. So if this conversation resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which of course is in the link is there. If you're on YouTube, I know it's somebody over there. It was a couple people over there watching from YouTube. Thank you for that. Few folks from Facebook also join my school community. The link will be in the chat. SKOOL, the Execution Lab. I have a class coming up, but you already know about it. I talked a little bit about that. And if you would love to join us for Call Me CEO, the conversations, we're wrapping up in March, but I'm still bringing some more sisters on for Women's History Month. So that's all I got with y'all or for y'all tonight. I cannot wait to connect with you all again. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.